All right, people, welcome back. So today what I'm going to work on is trying to get the transmission in and the transfer case on. I'm going to go in a little bit to pick up the front drive shaft from the guy about 30 minutes away from here. So I'm going to go pick up the front drive shaft, and then at least I'll be able to start fitting that. I think I'm going to have to cut it and change it, but got a little bit of work done, very little bit. I did get the plugs that I needed. So this one I just got from O'Reilly's. This is an this is an M22 by 1.5 plug. And then I was able to find this guy right here. This one's a M16 by 1.5 plug. And it's actually just the oil galley plug on the front of this old block that I got. So these are M16 1.5. Same as the thread on the oil pressure sensor hole on the back. So these are the same thing. I just popped this oil galley plug out and put it right in the front. So I did order the vent tube. So that was like $4 on eBay. So the vent tube's coming, but should be okay. All the holes are plugged. All right, so we got the transmission in. It's all bolted up to the engine now. But I am gonna have to remake the mount and probably the cross member. And my drive shaft safety loop is gonna have to come out because the transfer case is gonna be too big. I might be able to fit the tail end of it through the safety loop, but I think I'm just gonna take the safety loop off and move it back. So I'll have to make new mounts, and I just want to test fit it. So that's what I'm gonna try to do now. Is I'm gonna put the transfer case on, test fit it, and I also picked up the drive shaft. I went to go pick this thing up. It was a little bit farther drive than I thought. I thought it was gonna be 30 minutes. It was actually like an hour. Craigslist location showed different than what the guy's actual house was at, so that sucks. But I do have the right slip yoke there. These things on eBay or whatever, they're like $40 to $60. So I figured I'd just pick this one up. I paid $50 for it. Might be a little high, but to get a new one of these things, it's like $50-$60 anyways. So screw it, got it locally. What would be really great is if this thing would just actually fit. I don't know what the odds are, but hopefully it will. So let's get started. I'm gonna grab the transfer case and put it on my jack and then start to jack it up. This is gonna be kind of hard to show, but I'm gonna do my best. So the front drive shaft I have just kind of pushed in there. The yoke is actually a little bit too narrow for the U-joint, so I'll have to do some type of a conversion there and figure that junk out. But let's look at the back side. So this shaft is basically not moved from the position I just showed you in the front. And I'll try to show this. So I'm gonna do just some rough measurement here. So what I'm doing, basically what I did just to eyeball this, is I measured from where the transfer case is gonna mount and then back to where the slip yoke is, and it comes right to about that bone in my wrist there. Like, that's actually how I'm just kind of eyeballing this. It's really weird angle with the camera, but this might seem like really ridiculous, but essentially what I did was see how deep the output shaft for the transfer case is, measured the depth here, and then I'm kind of doing the same measurement with my hand to see where my wrist is. So if I were to line this bone on my wrist up with where the transfer case mounts, it ends up being about a 1-inch pullout from the slip yoke being fully seated. It's probably about an inch and a half pullout. Very rough guess, very rough estimate, but I honestly think it might just be the right length, might be the right size. So that would be very good if I could just do like a different U-joint up front or something. That'd be awesome. And obviously, guys, I'm not wearing a white lab coat, so this isn't freaking science that I'm trying to do here. I'm just seeing if it's close, what I might have to do with it, if it's going to be too long or short. Obviously, it's not like 8 inches too long or something weird like that. That's really all I wanted to see. And if it actually works out like that it's 1-inch pull out from fully seated in there, I would be pretty okay with that, I think. So, might be good. All right, guys. So we're gonna get the safety loop out. I did try to test fit it. with the safety loop in there, and it wasn't even close. So we're gonna do something weird. Cut the safety loop out, and I have safety glasses on. Hey-o. French fry potatoes. All right, let's get this out. Well, there's one. Watch, I'll be able to break this other one off without even cutting it. Here. I don't think it was weak. I think it just had the right angle to snap that bead off there, but say what you will. Now I'll grab the transfer case and actually try to get it up in there. What I'm worried about with the transfer case is it's designed to be kind of dropped down at an angle. So what I'm worried about is if this has to be down, you know, pretty far, that it's gonna hit these torsion bar key mount things. So I might have to raise the transmission up really high or something weird. So it's gonna bring the drive shaft slip yoke back farther, so it's gonna change my angle. So I might have to change, you know, a bunch of stuff, but we'll throw it in and kind of see where we end up and go from there. Ladies, fellas, ladies and fellas, we got some good news. So I put everything back in. I put the transfer case on the transmission, everything in with the drive shaft, and check this out. So I guess we'll start from the side view. So this is where the transfer case hangs down. It's higher than the original transmission cross member and the torsion bar key mount things. So I'd say the clearance is okay. The clearance all the way around is pretty good. I can actually get a finger pretty much all the way around. It doesn't hit anything. It's pretty tight up top, but I can get a finger in all the way around. So nothing else is hitting. So here's where the drive shaft is. I have it just kind of mocked up there. I'm gonna have to find some way to adapt that thing. Not sure what to do there yet. But if I come back and I look at this thing where this is right now, I can get a full hand all the way around the entire drive shaft. So it's not hitting. I could even go lower if I wanted to. Then we'll come back a little bit. And remember when I said my rough measurement was about an inch and a half pull out? So this little lip right here would be completely bottomed out. God, this is hard at this angle. We're like right at an inch and a half pull out. So that was pretty good estimate. I guessed at an inch and a half. But other than that, I mean, this thing is in. It fits. Nothing's hitting. Everything clears. I have good clearance all the way around the sides. I have good clearance where the shifter is going to be. My fuel pressure regulator is, I probably don't even have to move that. And all the fuel lines, everything looks fine. I can get my hand pretty much up and over all the way. This is like the closest spot, one of the closest spots. I can get a finger all the way through. I think this is looking pretty good the way it is. I'm kind of happy with it. I'm really happy that the drive shaft is like almost the right size. I probably don't have to cut it down. Hopefully I can get away with just changing the U-joint. I do want to check like the side-to-side clearance, make sure that's all still good for the rear drive shaft, but looks like it's going pretty well. All right, so I don't think my engine position really changed that much. I don't think it did. So I'm pretty happy with how this went in there so far. And honestly, at this point right now, I kind of get a little excited because, you know, well, like the last few days or probably like a week now, I've been staying at work late and not really having much time to work on this thing. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking this isn't going to fit and I'm going to have to do like some serious modifications. And I'm honestly like overthinking it and thinking I might not even be able to do this. So it's very motivating to see now that it actually did kind of slide in there and go in there pretty well. Don't have to do a whole lot of modification. Like there's some things that need to get done, of course, but the big fear that I had was that the torsion bar key mounts area was going to be hitting the drive shaft, the front drive shaft. So that's not even close right now where it's at. I got a little bit of wiggle room, and the drive shaft length, the front shaft length, is pretty freaking close. So that gets me a little bit more excited, motivated to work on this thing, and I got a little bit of time coming up the next couple days. So not sure how far I'll get, but what I want to do is at least get the transmission mounted, everything in there, and then figure out what I need for drive shaft lengths for the rear shaft and what I got to do with the front shaft. So that'll be probably the next couple videos. I'm excited about this thing. Hopefully you guys are too. Should be fun. Thanks for watching. Have a